Hey there, welcome to the table. So this video is going to be a more proper intro and setup video. So we will not start any actual play until the next video. So if you're one of those people that doesn't want to watch the intro and setup, then just skip to the next one. I will get that out as soon as possible. I'm hoping to get the gameplay to start tonight. I keep falling asleep when I read these rules. And it's not that they're not interesting. I think it's because a lot of it makes sense, and then I start skimming, and then I realize, man, I need to pay more attention. And anyways, so the first thing to talk about is the components. So I have, I guess, what's called the Admiral Edition, and so you get this this little handout that looks like this, and it has all the different trays, and maybe you don't have that if you don't have the Admiral Edition, but for those of you that do, they have a section, it's a couple pages in, where they talk about the component upgrades. This is an extremely important one to understand. So I have this baggie here, and these are all the components that come with the game that have been upgraded, meaning that I'm never going to use these. So let's just go through them real quick. And first of all, on the left, it's telling you that if you have the Admiral Edition, you're going to get these components instead of these. And like, you're just never even going to see these. These are just completely out of your edition. And if you don't have the Admiral, then these are the components you're going to have. So just to, help you out as you're watching my video, my dice are going to look different than yours. Or I'm going to have acrylic shield tokens while you have cardboard. My white cubes are going to look different than yours. My discover, or what do they call this? The corruption markers are going to look different than those are going to be, looks like cardboard corruption markers. I'm going to have metal power tokens. You're going to have cardboard power tokens. My boards will be dual layered, et cetera, et cetera. So that's part one. Now I just dropped stuff on the ground. So 1 second. Okay. So disaster recovered. My dog is awesome. She doesn't chew on things anymore. Okay, let's keep going. This is the bag that I was showing you. So first thing you're going to see are the ships. These are the Voidborn ships. They gave us upgraded Voidborn ships. So here they are. So I have plastic miniatures, whereas the cardboard ones go in the bag. Next up, these are the Rift tokens, and you can see them right here, these little circular Rift tokens. So those are out, and instead of using those, I have upgraded Rift tokens, which I saw them somewhere, and now I think, nope, these aren't it. Oh gosh, where did they go? They're here somewhere. Let's just leave it at that. They're here somewhere. Then we, instead of damage markers, so that's why you see the red cubes were taken out of the game. I have these. And I think that might actually, these are the Rift tokens. These. There you go. Same place. And then there is a Revenant, which is your, I'm going to call it Battlestar Galactica over and over again, but this is basically your big mothership, so protected at all costs kind of thing. Anyways, this is replaced with this. So we actually have a big old miniature. So this also goes in a bag. It is not used. And then it explains that there's like things that are on the Revenant that actually are applicable to the game. They have these cardboard standees that plug into the miniature. And then it explains that there are components that get merged. So the base game will have this, and then we do this. Now, maybe somebody can help me, and maybe I'm just supposed to glue, but I really don't like this aspect of the game. I think it was very sloppily done. And here, I'll show you. So this is the component. So I can't remember what type of ship this is, but this is one of them. And then they give you this miniature, so you can see they're alike. And then you have this little square here And yeah, it plugs in and sits, but there's nothing holding it together. And so I haven't played this with other players yet, but I can easily see, this is on the board. Someone's going to try to pick this up and move it. I mean, you just have to be disciplined and not grab the miniature itself. But yeah, I mean, these things are they're just flimsily on there. I mean, are they cool? Of course they're cool. I don't have an issue with how cool they look. It's more the practicality that I don't care for. And could I glue them? I probably could. Will I? No, because I'm not one of those hobbyist board gamers. But I just think they could have done a better job. And then they have so for example, you have these are the bigger ships. Can't remember the name of them either, but they give you these as well. So you get, so for example, I have this here, and I mean, they do put themselves away nicely because you disassemble these, but this has the little things and it plugs in, but once again, it falls out. I mean, it's not, I mean, it'll sit nicely and it looks really nice. I don't disagree with any of that aspect. It just, I just sort of wish it was more permanent. That's all. That I could snap it together and it would actually stay together. And I can pick it up by this and not have it fall apart. But anyways, that's a first world problem, I guess. So that's the first thing. The second thing to really get into is this came with an expansion. It's called Reason and Faith. So one thing you may want to do is open it up and you'll see that there are components. And for example, that component right there is right here. So you see right here. So that's a expansion component. And, maybe for the first game, if you don't want to play with the additional rules, because these rules are already overwhelming enough as it is, it just helps you to know which components to set aside, maybe even get another baggie to put them in. So that way you're not mixing base components with the other stuff. I'm seeing that I also have it looks like, some of these look like they might belong to the expansion. I would have to go through them and sort it all out, of course. But that's the next thing I recommend that you do. I'm actually going to try to play with the expansion because so what's the one thing that separates me from the other YouTubers? I'm not afraid to do more. Everybody else just plays the base game because, for them, they get their revenue just as much. So I'm going to try to cover more. I'm a little intimidated. This game, I really want to play it multiplayer before I try it solo. I tried to beg my son tonight to play with me, and of course they're not available. I think he would if I begged enough and his schedule allowed it. But I really want to play this multiplayer before I do solo, because this is one of those games where the solo game is just a multiplayer game with more rules. And, the difference is Voidfall was truly, there's solo rules, there was co-op rules, and then there was PvP. And I have to say that Voidfall was more solo friendly. It was almost like the game was designed for solo. The PvP was just extra. And in fact, we never played it PvP because it just seemed like it was not worth it. This game feels like it's a PvP game with solo rules that, are in addition to it. I'm not saying that the solo is going to stink or anything. It's just that, when it comes to learning the mechanics of the game, if you learn how to do the PvP, you're 90% there. So I really wanted to play this multiplayer. I even asked my game group because we meet tomorrow, and they told me no because I guess 3 months ago we promised to go to so-and-so's house, and now we got to do it. So boo on so-and-so's house. So anyways, if you want to separate the components, there you have it. And then the next thing to recommend is it's also worth your while. Similar principle. The Solo Rules has its own set of components. So as you can see, there's some boards and shuffling envelopes right here. which are actually right there. Those are solo components. So it might help you to put those separately as well. Now, the game gives you these cool trays, which theoretically everything goes into a tray. The only reason I don't like the trays is because the solo components are mixed in along with everything else. So, half the battle when you put a game on the shelf and then it's 6 months go by and you try to play it again, having all the solo components mixed in with everything else does make it more complicated, because you're once again having to do what I'm suggesting, and you have to separate them out, and it's really hard because if I have a gaming group here, they tear the box open, they're just ripping out components because they're trying to help set up. And then next thing you know, they got all these solo components all over the table, and you're trying to clean all that up. So once you get past all of that, we're ready to rock and roll. So the rulebook itself has a pretty extensive setup series of steps. We'll go through that. And then also the solo book has even more setup. And I'm going to take the approach that we're going to set it up for PvP, and then we're going to look at the solo book and set it up. And maybe that's not the most efficient way to do it. That's the problem when I've never played this game before. I don't know what the best way to go about this is. I just know that when I look at the solo book, it references like sections and phases of the game, and none of them are familiar with. It's just all Greek to me. And that's the part that makes it so hard. And then the symbology in this game is intense. There's a lot of symbols. I can easily see how some of the people I game with are not going to like this game. I can see how I'm going to love this game. I can see how they will not. And anyways, with that being said, I am going to pause and get this a little more organized, and then we will begin. Okay, I'm back after being paused a very long time. So I'm still trying to determine and make sense of the rules. We're definitely going to be playing our first game very raw. And what I mean by that is I'm not even going to try to play a practice game before I record. I mean, we're going to learn this together. Part of the fun in games like this is how easy is it to pick up? And it gives you a good impression, because if you're going along this journey with me, you can see the things that are tripping me up or whatever. I know it frustrates some people because they're like, well, I want somebody who's polished and knows exactly how the game plays. And I get that. I mean, that's why there's other YouTubers out there, so go find them. Paul Grogan, there you go. But anyways, what I have done is we have this board set up here. This is, I don't know what I call it the tactics board. This board is separate, but it plugs in like so. And I got it to the left of the game board. And then all these components that you see above it, all of those are the Faith expansion. So those are expansion components. And I'm still jury out on whether or not I can handle that for my first game. I'm leaning towards I can't handle it for my first game, which I'm saddened by. But it's looking like this game is pretty overwhelming for the first try. But assuming I can get more than one play in, that shouldn't be a matter, too much of a matter here. There are some components like this, which are for the solo game. And so I have those out as well, because we have to play the solo game. I don't want to play a schizophrenic game. And so we got cards. So if you're looking at solo components, we have these 3 red cards, these envelopes. There's this card, and then there's another card that's similar. Those are for sure solo components. There is a deck of cards. I'm trying to grab them right now off camera. These are part of the expansion, the Faith expansion. I just have them over here in this tray. Also for the solo game, I want to say this, but I might be wrong. Anyways, there's not that many components for the solo game, which I actually find to be refreshing. Yeah, actually, that's everything. There are some solo action cards, which are these red cards. Oh, that's these, We already talked about these. Those are the solo action cards. These envelopes, and then these two things. And there's a red, this thing. That's the solo components right there. So not a whole lot. I hope that's cool. I mean, at first blush, when you don't have a lot of solo components, that is very, very cool. So, because what that tells me is that we're going to play as close to a real game as possible, and it's not going to be just some Autobot that just cheats all the time. But I'm sure they still cheat in their own way. So with that said, I'm going to pause again, and then we'll go through setup, and then we're going to just dive in and go. It's a very sequential game. The game, I'm just going to grab the... this is on the left side here. The game is played in phases. There's 4 phases to the game, and then in each phase you have this is like an action phase. I can't remember what this is called, but it's almost like a cleanup phase. And then this is where the Voidborn do their attacks. And then you're either going to do this or this. Never both. It's one or the other. And if you are familiar with Battlestar Galactica at all, this is the jump. So when the Cylons are trying to kill them, and then they're trying to jump to another area, and it buys them some time because the Cylons have to take a while to figure out where you jump to in order to chase you down, right? And in the meantime, you're building up and getting ready to jump again. So these are jumps, and these are you failed to jump, so the quote-unquote Cylons or the Voidborn, they're getting stronger. And the other thing that I understand about this game is we have over here on the right, see that little track? I'm going to grab it and just bring it in front of the camera here. This track right here are all the different factions in the game. I think they call them houses. And it's just like Voidfall, very similar. And the thing is you're going to get influence and go up these tracks. They're not, and I have it upside down. This is the way it goes. So you can see there's the Shivius, the Yarvek, the Belatan, Novaris. So anyways, if you think of games like Gaia Project, you move up these tracks and they're called research tracks. In this case, they're influence tracks. Similar concept. You move up them. But it has a mechanic that's very similar to Maracaibo. So in Maracaibo, in case you're not familiar with it, there's the English, there's the French, there's the Spanish, and you invest in influencing them. So for example, if you're invested in the English, the more English cubes that are out on the board, the more points you're going to score at the end of the game, because you have English influence, so you want the English to have the cubes out on the board. And somebody else might be, wanting the Spanish to be out on the board. So, I mean, there's a little bit of like that kind of mechanic of whoever you have the most influence with, they're going to score you the most points when they're out on the board. And up here at the top, these are your, we call them glory points in Voidfall, I think. But basically, it's just, so for example, if this faction here, which is the Fenrax, if they have a ship out on the board, then they have 1 point. And the more ships they have on the board, the more points your influence with them is worth. Now, of course, the Fallen, the Void Fallen, or whatever you call them, I'm going to call them Cylons sometimes, they're going to destroy these ships. So if they destroy all the ships of a particular faction or house that you're invested in, you're going to score no points at the end of the game. Now, my impression is there's other ways to score points, and this is just one of them, but this is the thing I understand so far. So we're going to dive in some more. The reason I'm struggling so much is it's a lot of details, and I'm going to be honest that none of the details individually are overwhelming, but collectively they are. And I think I have to just play and then stumble through the details, and then it'll click. Like it's one of those games where it's better to just start playing, and then it'll click. And I'm praying that that's the way it's going to be. I really wish I had somebody who already knew how to play to teach me, and it would immediately click, because I'm ready to go now, if that were the case. But because I'm responsible for everything, I'm carrying the burden of stress of trying not to screw this up. And of course, that makes me nervous. The other thing is that every player is going to have different, like, I don't want to use the word, maybe it's asymmetric, but it seems like they have asymmetric powers. We're going to see just how strong that is. I don't know. Maybe it's just, they have asymmetric. Okay, you're going to get a purple resource, and I'm going to get a blue one. Well, okay. Yeah, that is different. So a game that has a weak asymmetric start would be Ezra and Nehemiah. Like, everybody's player board is slightly different in terms of what rewards you get. And it does change how you play, but it's not like Root, for example. Root is truly an asymmetric game. Anyways, I'm throwing out all these names of games that you may not be familiar with, and don't worry, we'll dive in. But yes, I think I'm ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up some of these trays, get them somewhere where I can easily reach them. And that faith expansion, Faith and Reason, it looks very cool. I'm worried about getting the rules right. And so I may have to leave that out, and I apologize, because that is the only thing that's going to differentiate my channel from everybody else. So let me see what I can do there. But I'm still sorting, and I will be starting soon. The setup. We got to do the setup still. Okay, so I have things mostly moved. I firmly believe that this belongs to, or maybe this one belongs to the expansion, but that's neither here nor there. So I did verify that in the solo game, we play against what's called the corrupted crew. So there's a crew trying to corrupt our ship. And it's just like Voidfall, if you are familiar with that, in terms of we have to outscore them. And so from that perspective, I'm grateful. It's about scoring the most points. And they do take turns just like we do. I can't quite say if they're Cheaty McCheaterson yet. We're going to find out very, very soon. But it does look interesting. And I give these guys credit. Part of the reason why I'm not saying I'm loyal to Mind Clash, but I do think that they put in serious effort to make the solo good. And what's his name? David Tootsie. I get his name wrong. I apologize to you, good sir. I know since Anachrony, he's been doing solo modes for this, and he only gets better and better. So he has gotten quite good at some of this. And I don't know if he did this one. I assumed he did, but I might be wrong. But anyways, the solo mode in Voidfall was excellent. Loved how they did solo in that game. And so we're going to see how they do it here. I still am sticking to my guns that this looks more like a PvP fun game than a solo fun game. But I will try it solo. We'll see how it works. And first thing you got to do is set up your board. And you can pick either side. They both just have different artwork. This artwork has all the red fuzzies around the edge. Otherwise, the other side looks a lot more like that you see there, where the space is just a solid bluish green. And this, of course, has more of the Voidborn effect to it. So I'm just going to barrel through, like, we're going to go through the instructions together and get this set up. So step one, place the board. Place the influence board nearby. That's this thing. So we do that. Then we join the left and right half of the sequence board. That's this thing. There's a left and right half of that sequence board. Already done. So then we place, it says resource tokens, shield tokens, damage markers, discovery data cubes, voidborn ships, and corruption markers in a common supply. And they're called 4. So if I look for section 4 on here, this is what they're telling you to do. The resource markers, which are over here. So we got 4 sets of resources. Energy, I think that's material. No, this is material. I can't remember, some nuclear energy thing. And then I can't remember what that is either. So I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Let's see, what are they called? They are called science, energy, material, and neutronium. Neutronium would be the purple. Science is the blue. So those are the 2 I didn't get right. Okay. So anyways, those are the 4. And then you can see 4C here are the red cubes and the white cubes. So the red cubes are damage markers. The white cubes are discovery data cubes. We have the voidborn ships, which are 4E. And then 4F are the corruption markers. Now, this could be this is depending on your game. So we have, these are damage markers in this game. So these red things. So this replaces the red cubes. And I have a bunch of them off to the side here as I beat my camera. And then there were white cubes. I know I just had them. What did I do with them? Oh, they're over here in a baggie still. Here's the white cubes. So let me get those into a tray and stick it over by the resources. They're really odd, these white cubes. They're very similar to a regular white cube, and I don't know if, oh man, I just had it. So get the camera to focus on this. They have like these indentations on them and fancy, what do you call that, calligraphy. They look like circuit boards all throughout the cube. That's the Allspark, you know, for those of you that understand Transformers. So those are pretty cool, and I'll just set them off to the side. And then it said the corruption markers, which are these. And I'm going to put these in a tray as well. So yes, you're getting it all, baby. Now, these bags. I have 2 bags you can see I threw on the other side of my table. There's a blue bag and a red bag. Those are player bags. And then I have this, because since you're playing solo, you basically play 2 player colors. We're going to be yellow, and the corrupt are going to be green. And so you have these influence markers. You have a cube, which I can't remember what that's for. And then one of these is the captain, and the other 2 are the cadets. So I just have it off to the side here, waiting for us to use it. And then these, we're just throwing them all over here. So those are just there when we need them. We can grab one. So that's step 4. Step 5, separately shuffle the 3 types of operation cards. There's cadet cards, frigate cards, and command cards. So this is where life gets confusing, but they're basically telling you to do the 1970s looking cards here. And which ones are which? Good question. I'm assuming those are the cadets because they look like a person. The frigate looks like a ship, and command looks like a radar. So, I mean, this looks like the old, like Atari 2600 type of symbols. So those I have off to the side here. They're fairly large decks. So these frigate cards, they look like this. I can tell you, I'm assuming that this is like different symbols for houses, but like this is a cost. You spend that cost, and then you get to do whatever this is. And I think that's telling you like what action step you're doing. And then this here is a special symbol. So if you do an action that has this step on it, then you get, there's so much to this game. But anyways, that's part of the learning here. And yeah, so I got to shuffle these 3 sets of cards, and I don't need to make you watch me do this. Let me do this on pause. Okay, I have all the cards shuffled, and then the next set of cards we're supposed to shuffle are these, which are called the influence cards. So that's step 5, and then, or I'm sorry, that was step 6. Step 7, create the scanner offer above the main board. So you find the 15 scanner cards. That's these things right here. And they're based on player count. So, like for example, this is 3 players. And we're not using any of those, but we're going to use the 2-player ones. So that's cool. They have cards that are specific for 2 players. So let's set those aside. The 3s are out of the game. And then I have another set here. It looks like they're the 4-player ones. Let me just make sure that they're all the 4-player ones. Nope, there's some 3 players mixed in. But we got all the 2-player ones. Okay. I haven't quite figured out what I'm supposed to do with these cards yet. One second. Return the remaining 30 cards to the box. Randomly reveal 3 scanner cards showing a whatever on their back. And return the 2 other cards with this icon to the box. Are there... Oh, I see. There's only so many 3s. And then you have 2s, and then you have 1s. I get it. Boy, sometimes I'm a slow one. So it says randomly reveal showing a 1. See, my glasses. I have glasses now, and I can't read some of it was the graphical image that was driving me nuts. So they're saying for these, we're going to reveal 3 and then return the other. So 1, 2, 3, I want to make sure we have 5. So let's just do a quick shuffle. And then I'm going to take this top one. Let's take this middle one, and let's take the bottom one. So these 2 go back to the box. Fair enough. I can handle that. And I think we reveal these. We do. And I see. And then what we're going to do, I see what's going on. So at the very top of the board here, we're going to reveal 1, 2, 3, like so. Then the 2s are going to get shuffled and stay face down like so. And then the 3s are going to go, I'm shuffling them, and they're going to go face down like this. So this is similar to Voidfall, where as we progress through our turns, new cards are going to get revealed and new stuff. It's sort of like, it is like Battlestar Galactica, the board game, where it looks like this is showing different setups on how the enemy ships are going to be on the board. So we'll see. Okay, next I have to shuffle the colony cards, which it's saying are these cards. I'm going to grab my camera back here. So these are the colony cards. There's not that many of them. So we'll shuffle. And those also go next to them. I will tell you that the other side of my table is very far away for me. So I have to stand up and literally lean across my table to reach this. So I'm probably going to be moving those closer to me once I figure out how to get space. But it's a great idea that it's over there. If I actually had another player sitting on the other side of the table, that would be cool. And oh, by the way, we have guests learning the game with us. So her name is Veronica, and then that's Biff. All right. So what are we doing here? Step 10. Place the rift die appropriate for the number of players next to the scanner deck. Return the other 2 dice to the box. So we're playing with the yellow die. I didn't realize it was that strict. What did I do with the dice? I I know I have the dice. I've seen them. I really have. Oh, here they are. So we are playing the game with the yellow die, and it looks like the orange is the 3-player and the red is the 4-player. Interesting. I wonder what the differences are. So anyways, that goes up there somewhere. I'll just put it close. And then the Revenant goes in the center. So to do this, I got to move some stuff around, all my manuals, and open this up. So this bad boy, he goes in the center. And by the way, these are painted. It's like opening a can of Play-Doh for the first time. It's just got a really strong smell. It's like smelling gasoline. And then inside of one of these, I had 2 tokens. What did I do with the... I feel like I'm losing my mind. Let's move the camera a little bit. Maybe it's underneath all this. It is not. So there's 2 tokens that go inside of here, and I had it in a tray not dissimilar to this when we first started recording, but then I moved stuff around. Oh, here they are. So we got these guys, and I don't know if it matters which one is where, but let me check the there is a manual that tells you. So the one with the material and energy symbol goes in the front, if that matters. I don't know if it matters, but we're gonna try to follow the rules precisely. So see the material and energy? This one it says is up here, and then this one goes back here. These are actions, by the way. So it's a little bit like worker placement. So I'm gonna be able to place a worker here or here to do the different actions. And this is like the Battlestar Galactica. It sits in the middle. And I'm assuming we can't let it get destroyed. I don't know, I haven't gotten that far, but it's called the Revenant, so it's not the Battlestar Galactica, although I would really love a Battlestar Galactica game that was like this. Place 1 random arc ship in sectors 1, 4, and 6, and then 2 and 3 and 7. So the sectors are along the edge here. So you can see that's sector 1, sector 2, sector 8, sector 7. So what it's saying is that a arc ship goes in 1, 4, and 6. So the arc ships are these things. So I have a whole stack of them. I'm turning them upside down like this, and then I'm going to shuffle them. So we don't know which ones go where. So it's saying that we need one in 1, 4, and 6, and then 2 of them in 3 and 7. So I know you can't see the whole map. Let me lift the camera up here. So one's going here in 1, and then 1 in 4, and 1 in 6. And then it's saying that 2 of them go here, and 2 of them go here, which means I'm missing one. Oh, there we go. That one goes there. All right. So there's no reason not to reveal them. I was just shuffling them. So for example, this is, oh, they're just empty. So, or maybe that one is. Anyways, so you just put these little doodads on. And I gotta grab the tray that has the rest of them. Okay, so then down here, I know this one's a green one because that was the one that I didn't shuffle in. So I guess this is the blue. This must be a gray faction. Looks like it's the Belatan. And anyways, I'll figure out the names of these eventually. Green is the Novaris. I think they were odd ones to play in Voidfall. I can't remember who were the ones that did the manufacturing that I really loved. I don't think they were any of these. This one is the yellow one. That would be the Dunlark. The orientation doesn't matter. All that matters is what sector they're in. So 3 more. I gotta stand up to reach over here. That is the Fenrex. This is the Chivius. And this is that's the Belatan. Navaris and Zenor were in the bottom. I'm sorry, Yarvek. This one, I think, is the Zenor. So here's the problem. See, we have a dark blue, like a purplish, and a light blue. This one looks like the light blue. That one looks like the purple one. Or I'm sorry, this one is the dark blue. Well, here, look, you tell me. The purple one, I think, is for sure the top. That one on the bottom, it's either this one or this one. So you tell me that. There, look at them together. I think it's the one I'm pointing at. So then the only one left is Zenor, which is super dark. And that does not look like the Zenor color, but it's the only odd man out. It's really weird. That one should have been like a dark blue, like a navy blue, but it looks gray. But anyways, that's what we're supposed to do. Then we place 1 random fighter in every sector except sector 4. So the fighters, I gotta look up which one are the fighters. I knew what the arc ships were. The fighters are the weird looking ones. Then drop ships look like a fortress, they're square. And then the shuttles are the round ones. Okay. So the fighters are these guys. Right? Those are the fighters. And we have a whole slew of them here. And so they said put 1 in every sector except sector 4. So I'm going to just do a quick shuffle because they weren't in any particular order as far as I was concerned anyways. All right, so every sector except sector 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I apologize, the camera's not quite high enough for you to see everything. Then it gives an extra instruction. If a fighter is in the same house flag as an arc ship, so in the same sector, swap the fighter with the one clockwise next sector. So for example, this one's orange, and if he was with him, I would have to swap him. There's nobody in this one. These are not the same. Here's an example. This one's the same as here. So he has to go clockwise and swap. So he's going to take this one, and then the yellow one goes here. And then this one, see, look, that's dark blue. That's just not dark blue. That's very interesting. How I can see the dark blue on this one. I just don't see it on that one. Anyways, these are the same. So we'll go ahead and swap. And I think that's it. We're done. Very convenient because there's no arc ships. Arc ships are in every other sector, so it's pretty easy to swap and make sure you get one that doesn't match. Place 1 random dropship in every sector except sector 6. Do not check their house flags. So the dropships are, like we said, they're the fortress looking ones. And I'm just grabbing them all. Also, from a miniatures perspective, these go on like so on every single one of them. They do look cool. I just wish they attached somehow. And they're easy enough to put on. So it's not like that's a pain in the butt. So every sector except sector 6. So here. And now this one, it doesn't matter if they match. And I have one extra, so I don't understand that. How do I have one extra? Because this is not a dropship. This is. So that would explain that. All right, so getting the rest of the fighters out here. And then we have all these drop ships. See, I'm going so slow you can follow along at home. Yes, I'm sorting some components off camera here. All right. Oh, one more drop ship right here. Okay. Then it says, place the Voidborn ships in each sector of the main board depending on the number of players. So let me show you. They got a chart here. So we're 1 to 2 players. So 2 in every sector except for 5. It only gets 1. So you can see all the way across the board. So obviously in larger player games, there's larger player count. There's more. So the component that I was sorting off map are the Voidborn ships. So they are these things. So it's saying 2 in every sector. Again, it doesn't matter where. Except for 5. Can you imagine like getting so good that you can do this without even having to look at the board? And then I got some more over here. Like so. Okay. I'm getting confused on, it feels like there's so many different types of ships. So the shuttles are the circles. There's 4 frigates, 1 in each player color. What are these? I'm trying to figure that out. Let me pause the game and figure that out. So it turns out those ships are science vessels and they're part of the expansion. So the only thing that we have left here, these are the, what were they again? Shuttles. They're the shuttles. And then of course we have the actual player ships, which are these. And so we're playing with the yellow player and the green player. That means the blue and red are gonna sit elsewhere. Okay, so let's keep going here. So we have to place a rift in sectors 1, 3, 5, and 7. And this is step 16 if you're following at home. I just need to remember what a rift is. I think I know what it is. I'm just verifying. Yep. So the rifts are these bad boys. And basically they're just warp channels. So how they're coming into the area, I guess. And it said 1, 3, 5, and 7. So this is sector 7. So I'm going to put one rift right there. And then sector 5 over here. Then 3 is at the top. And then 1 is over here on the left. I understand why the board's big now. There's a lot of big pieces that need to fit on here. Then we have to shuffle the planet cards and into a face down deck. Then draw the top cards face up in sectors depending on the number of players. So we got 2, 5, and 8 for a 1 to 3 player game. Just doing a real quick shuffle here. And then we have to put a discovery data cube on each planet card. So 2, 5, and 8. So 8 happens to be right over here. So we can put a planet. And let's look at one of these close. So it's got all the symbology on it. So that goes there. And then you take one of these white cubes. And it goes, the Allspark goes there. And then we got to repeat on sectors 2 and 5. And then the rest of the cards, I'm just going to put over here. And so sector 5, let's make some room. And then sector 2 is over here. Plenty of room for it there. And I got to put this down. And we're going to put white cubes on both. So now it's talking about the different houses, and you'll see a description of them here. Let me try to zoom in for you. So this is a zealous order, ruthless, cleanse, corruption, highly disciplined, elite pilots, resourceful resistance force, intellect of once brilliant scientists, hive mind of clones, cold and rational society, pure logic, deep space explorers, cybernetically enhanced engineers. I think the different houses are going to possibly have different powers. We'll see. So now we got to do the influence board setup. That's this thing here. So this is next. And there we go. I was going to say, it feels very zoomed in. There we go. So we have to place 7 player markers of each color on the lowest position. So I'm assuming in a 2-player game, 1, 2, we're doing something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the same for green. Like so. Okay, then it says place 1 token in steps 2, 5, and 8 of each track. The token type depends on the house. So the Fenrax, for example, gets material tokens. You can see the picture here. So I'm going to grab 3 of these. And I do think that it's like whoever gets there first gets those tokens. And then corruption tokens, which are these. So 1, 2, 3. So yes, you gain corruption when you go up that one. Discovery data cubes. And you can see the pictures on the thing. So here we got science. And then we got this. And I don't know what this one is. Oh, I know what it means. It means you're going to move up on the tactics track, but oh, they do have tokens. So 1, 2, 3. So the tactics track is, if you'll notice, we have one extra token, and I'm going to make a wild guess that that goes on the tactics track right here. And this, you move up this track, and those tokens we just put on let you get a double bump on that track. So place 2 house power tokens in a stack above the top space of each of the 7 influence tracks. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. Okay. Just trying to put the camera down. So now what it's saying is, you take these number 2s, there's 3 and 4. So basically everybody has 3 ships on the board at the start of the game. So you put a 2 on the bottom, and then a 3 on top. 2, and then 3. And just do that all the way across the board. Like so. And then the last thing it's telling us to do is to put the shuttles. So that's these things. So that's the yellow shuttle, for example. See, that one, the color matches perfect. I think they had a production error on that one ARC ship. So there you go. So we got all these shuttles, and that means I can, just to get another tray out of my way, I have like a leaning tower of Pisa of these trays right now. And once I use them all up, I can throw them back in the box so they're at least out of the way. And yeah, these just slide on somehow. They have a triangle. There we go. All right, almost out of the woods here. Interesting. Okay, next. Place the phase marker on the top left space of the phase track. So that would be either this marker or the clear one. It's sort of suggesting it's this marker, but I think I like the clear one more. I don't think it matters, to be honest. The clear one, obviously you want it for something you can see through. Anyways, what they're referring to is over here. So the phase that we're currently in is this phase right here. That's what that's trying to tell us. Then place the 3 phase skip tokens on their indicated spaces at the bottom of the phase track. And I know I have those here somewhere. I've seen them, and now I don't see them. Oh, I'm going insane. There are, oh, here they are. Found them. So these cover up the jump. So if you're going to jump, you're down here. If you're not going to jump, it slides up. So it goes on like that. Determine the turn order. The opposing player always goes first. So, oh, that's what these tokens are for. So this is for turn order and not much else. So I'm going to put those back in the box. Place one player marker of each selected player on the tactics track. It does matter. So since he goes first, he's on the bottom, and the bottom is the winner. So it's very similar to 18xx games. If it was a 4-player game, the 4th player would get to start on the 1 as a compensation for going last. Then we have to shuffle 4 core failure cards and draw 1 face down. Return the rest of the box. I have 11 of them. So what does it mean by shuffle the 4? There must be a difference in these. Okay. These are the 4 failure cards. How do I know? Because they're red on the other side. So I'm supposed to shuffle 4. Only 1 gets selected, and I'm not supposed to look at any of them. So the ones that go out of the game, don't look at those. Then of the other 7, I draw 3 face down and place it on top of the core failure card, and the rest go back to the box. And then the resulting 4 cards goes near the sequence board. So the destructive one's on the bottom. The rest are near the board. I'll just put it right here. Similar, something that they did similar to that on Voidfall. Two Revenant protection tokens. That's these. These are Revenant protection tokens. They go near the Revenant failure deck, so they just go here somewhere. Fair enough. Okay, so that's the game setup. Now, if we're playing the expansion, there's more things to do. The expansion has its own set of rules, and then we have player setup, which is setting up our player areas. So we have rules around that. I mean, this setup is, even with Voidfall, it was just as bad. And it's why I like Tabletop Simulator. Like, this is exhausting going through this. And I get it. When you get more familiar, maybe you can fly through it a little quicker, but I don't want to miss a step. And so, like, I'm reading everything, and it is sort of, there is a little bit of a cathartic nature to it, because I don't recognize I'm like, what's this component? What's that component? Well, now I know, hey, those are the shuttles, and these are the arc ships, and like, you sort of get familiar with the components because we're setting them up. So it's not horrible, but if you're following along at home, I'm sure you can appreciate this is there's a lot going on. Now, like I said, if we're going to play with the expansion, we got to make that decision now, because that's where the setup comes in. The solo game also has additional setup, but it's only in the player setup section. So solo game sets up exactly the same as this. The next section that we have not yet done, that's where the solo game modifies. So let me pause this and make a soul-searching decision on whether to include the expansion. I want to. Mentally, can I handle the expansion? Yes. If I'm learning the game, Is it necessary to add all these extra rules? No. And I mean, I think anybody in their right mind would tell you it doesn't hurt to play the base game and then add the expansion after. I'm just, I'm crazy like that. So let's see if I can justify it and figure it out. Thanks. And I'm just going to pause. I'll be right back. Okay, so I looked into the expansion. It's a Reason and Faith expansion. And it sort of answered the question for me because, here, I'll show you. It says, this expansion contains 2 separate modules designed to be added separately to the base game. We do not recommend adding both modules to your game at the same time. So they're not meant to be, so it's meant to be Reason or Faith, not both. Which, again, I'm not a fan of when they do that. Like Galactic Cruise does something similar. You have one set of cabins or another set. I get that it's supposed to increase replayability. Dark Tower did that as well, where you either do one expansion or the other. You don't do both. I personally hate that. I want expansions where it's all added. I want it all. But because I have to choose between Reason or Faith, I choose neither. If I could just bundle them both in and just learn the game, that would be one thing. But this is, like, with the science vessels, you start the game with all the Ark ships damaged. So it's clearly, like, you need to have a very good understanding of the game. And since all the Ark vessels are damaged, I don't know if there's a way to repair them per se, but the research vessels clearly play a role. And then the other one is more of a faith one, where you're just trying to spread humanity, and it's less science research based, and it's more culture, spreading culture. Anyways, the fact that I would have to choose one over the other just creates more analysis paralysis. So I just decided to take them both out, even though they do look cool. So we're gonna wave goodbye to those components, and I'll let them nestle up there. The Faith expansion, by the way, uses these. So it's a very heavy on using these cards, and yeah, a lot of activity on them. The science one uses those tokens, which are actual research tokens, and very similar to, I think, Voidfall, where you get different technology tiles. So yeah, I was sort of hoping to get into those, but it's not going to happen. So now we're going to do the player area setup, and obviously we have to do this plus the solo game. And the solo game setup is literally on the first page, right here. Boom. And it says that the solo mode uses the same basic rules laid out in the main rulebook, except the 2-player rules. So there's like special rules if you're just playing 2 players. We don't have to worry about that for this. In the following solo rules, you means the human player and they means the automated opponent, which is the corrupted whatever. And then it says, take these additional steps before the player area setup steps. So we should do these first, and then we'll do the player area setup second. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does, because I'm doing it, and you're just going to be confused if you don't. All right, so it says, take 3 crew figures of an unused color to form the corrupted crew. So what we did was we grabbed the green players. So these are the corrupted crew. And then it says, create the corrupted house deck. Sort the hidden influence cards by house to form 7 face-down decks, 1 deck per house. What the heck does that mean? What's a hidden influence card? So these are, I think, hidden influence. Oh my gosh, so I gotta sort these? Oh my goodness. All right, well, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so this is done. Now what it's saying to do is we take these decks and we put them inside shuffling envelopes. So like one of the decks I just put in here. And then we're supposed to shuffle these shuffling envelopes then. Interesting mechanic. I like the idea of the envelopes instead of just having, decks. How would I do this otherwise? I mean, normally you just have like some kind of like these are the actual influence decks, and then you have one copy of each kind of card. That's a separate shuffled thing that you would shuffle and draw when you need to draw a certain type. So, I don't know, maybe they're going to do something unique. I can tell you that these shuffle decks are very full. They're bursting at the seams with these cards. Hopefully they will last a lot of games. Not an easy thing to replace if you were to rip one of these. There you have it. So now it says, place each deck in a separate shuffling envelopes and shuffle those envelopes among themselves. So, okay. And then it says, remove all decks from the envelopes, keeping them face down. So take 7 cards from one random deck, 5 from another, 3 from another, and 2 from a fourth, and shuffle those 17 together without revealing them. And then that makes up boy, that's a lot of work. But I need to make sure I have all these facing the right direction, or otherwise I'm going to, for example, if I do that side, right, that's the wrong side. So I shuffled. So now I need to remove all the decks, keeping them face down. Take 7 cards from one random deck, 5 cards from another, and 3 from another, and 2 from a fourth. Shuffle these 17 cards together. So what if I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just take it from these? Like, why would I take them out of the deck? I don't see a reason to take these out ever. Just set it off to the side. And then it says, recreate the hidden influence deck, shuffling anything that's remaining into a single deck without revealing them. Okay, that's fair. So yes, I will be taking those out. But right now, I am taking 7 cards from this first deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the rest of these are going to go into my deck, like the regular game deck. All right, very cool. I mean, I do like the idea. And then 5 cards from this deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then all these go over here. And then it says 3 from the next deck. So 1, 2, 3. And the rest go there. And then 2 from this last deck. So 1, 2. And then all it's basically saying is, see, we have 3 decks where none of the cards made it into the corruption deck. So all of those go into the over here. So that's what it's trying to tell us. It makes sense now that I've read it carefully. And let's go ahead and get that going. I'm going to, first we're supposed to shuffle these because this is the corruption deck. And where do they want me to put them? Next to the corrupted crew. So I'm just going to make sure I don't look at them. Because I'm sure that knowing which ones got in here, because these are the different houses, right? These influences, there's one for every house in the game. So I'm guessing he's going to move up those house tracks, right? When he draws these cards, it's going to dictate, where he moves up over here. I'm guessing. I didn't say I read the rules yet. So this would dictate that. And one of the cards just popped out. No good, no bueno. So, I mean, obviously, as soon as we start revealing these cards, we're going to know pretty quickly which ones are the in there. But and then these ones, of course, are our deck. So yeah, we just recreate this, and these are not easy to shuffle because it's such a big deck. But let me pause and do this. Okay, next step is to take the solo action cards, reveal them in a 2x2 grid. So that's these guys. And make sure Revenant has its A side up. So there's the A side. So I'm going to just shuffle real quick. Reveal them in a 2x2 grid. All right. I don't know where to put these because I know we need to make room for the player board. So I'm going to try to do like over here. Like this token is part of the expansion. I just don't want to lose it. So let me just move that in the whole tray over here. And then let's go. See, I don't have something to put my camera on. But basically, if we do 1, 2, and then 3, 4. It's asking us to do a grid like this. And now that I have a hand free, I can move the camera for you. So that's what I built. Then it's saying to place this tile connecting the edge of the top 2 cards. So it's just saying to do this. I'm sure that has a meaning. And then take the captain rank marker of one of the captain crew's color and place it on the top right card. And now this is an interesting dilemma. I never saw the captain rank markers anywhere. The captain rank markers are these. Oh, I see. So maybe oh, that is true. It is correct. That's what it's telling me to do. And place it on the top right card. That's the assignment marker. So yes, he goes here, and that's the corrupt marker for the green player, which is the player, the corrupted player for what we're doing. So, and then we'll take these and we'll also put these over here somewhere for now, right? And I don't know if I need their ship. I did get it out just in case, and we'll see. So then it says, place the solo phase aid card above the sequence board with the side showing, looks like a person's head on the top left corner. So that would be this. Yes, it is this one. So it's saying to put this above the board, which I'm not going to do. Well, I might have to because table space. Right now, above the board is over where all those components are. So maybe I can pause the game real quick and move those components out of the way. But for now, I'm going to just keep it here, and then we'll make room if we have to. I don't like stuff being far away from me because I can't read it. And I have a feeling I need to be able to read these. Place the solo tactics ace cards below the sequence board. So it's telling us to put this one below. So that's interesting. All right, return the 3 personal agenda cards that show a not solo icon to the box. Now, personal agenda cards are, I believe, these ones, and not for solo. So 1, we could have just shuffled them and removed them as we found them. There we go. So there's 3 of them. Shuffle. So interesting, we don't play with those 3. That's fine. Then it says select the difficulty. Of course, we're going to do the lowest, trouble. I'm not that insane. I don't even know the rules of the game yet. I mean, I know I'm supposed to take actions. I know I'm supposed to kill ships and, score points. And, I get the basic gist. And then the Voidborn get to attack later. But that doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. So yes, we'll play the trouble difficulty, which is the lowest. It's trouble, hardship, or voidfall. And then I wanted to show you this. It shows the three skulls that you might remember from Voidfall. The gray, yellow, and red, which is very similar to the hardest difficulty in Voidfall. And yeah, when we played the Voidfall game, I was playing the red level almost exclusively and still, doing well. But I played the game quite a few times before I took that on. So we're going to do the trouble level, and it does do a good job up here in the diagram of showing you the different starting levels of things. So they always do a good job. I really love this company. This is like DVG level for me, except they maybe make less mistakes with their printing. Place a player marker of the Corrupted Crew's color on the tactics track. So for trouble, it starts on step 3. So what they're saying is, instead of being on 0, they start on 3. Okay, and then place the 7 influence markers of the Corrupted Crew on step 1. So coming back over here, I'm glad I have them on top. They all start 1 step above me. What a jerk. Corruption always has a gain up on you, don't they? Place the 1 player token by the Corrupted Crew, because the Corrupted Crew is going first. They will always be first in player order. You may discard 1 Voidborn ship from up to 3 different sectors. 3 ships in total. Just a note, you gain no tactics for doing this. So I guess since I'm playing solo, I get to destroy 3 ships. So I have no idea what the tactical advantages of doing this. I think that maybe if I knew where I started, maybe, or I guess I could go anywhere. So should I move 1 from 3 sections? Oh yeah, that's what it says. I can't do 3 from, so it has to be 1 from 3 sectors. There's only 1 planet on the right side. There's 2 planets on the left side. So let's say I want to do some planet landing. I think I want to do, like this one only has 1 Voidborn, so let's just destroy it completely. And then let's just do these bottom 2, like so. So I just did 1, 2, 3 all next to each other, like that. I have no idea what the strategy would be there. I think that, as I get more advanced in the game, that might be a meaningful decision. It means nothing to me at the moment, other than I'm just grateful to have 3 less Voidborn to deal with on the map. All right, so sorry, I'm just looking at the diagram here to see if I missed anything. Okay, the thing I wasn't understanding was return the 3 personal agenda cards. We destroy 3 Voidborn ships. Yeah, so now we got to do the rest of the setup for player setup. And I guess the Voidborn player, all they have is this. So they got those 3 little dudes, and then their first player marker. This is their custom deck, and then we have this with their cube on it. So I think I'm going to get to place my player board here. I thought for sure that I had to put the other corrupt player's player board out. I guess not. I thought they had their own player board. Yeah, we do this before the player area setup steps. You know what? Maybe they do set up their player board. Corrupted turn always takes their turn before you. Just looking for a picture of their player board. See if they have it. Honestly, it doesn't look like they do. Okay, we'll see. All right, I need to pause. I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna go get a drink. I might clean up those components so I don't get confused, and it also will make room for us to put that one card at least further away. And yeah, I'll be right back. So I tried to read the solo rulebook, and I don't think that we set up any. Hold on a second. So I tried to read the solo rulebook, and it doesn't look like we set up a player board for the corrupted player. So from that perspective, we very likely don't need the ship. So I'm going to set that off to the side. I do have our ships here. I thought that maybe this would plug in, but I don't think it does. It's there's a circle here, and that's an indent. It's not a, so whatever would cause that to fit on there, I don't know. And then of course we have our marker and our own stuff, but let's jump in and continue. So we're on the player area setup. In reverse turn order, each player chooses a crew board, choosing either of its sides. The boards show unique abilities on each side, and then it says for your first game, take a random crew with a random side. Fair enough. And then you're supposed to choose a frigate board, same deal. So let's figure out, I think a crew board are one of these. Now, I am being told, or I remember reading, so this is the captain, right? Your cadets are over here on the left. The captain is all this stuff over to the right. And these are their abilities. And they're going to get like a rank, and they're going to go up their rank. And when they do, you unlock more and more skills. Like they get stronger in their skills. So it's got a cool little mechanism there. And in the back of the solo rulebook is a list of all these things. So for example, you can see here that there's a scientist, a scout, a commander, and a politician. So those are the 4 different crew boards, and then it explains them all down here. So here's the 2 science boards, the 2 commander boards, etc. So there's definitely a lot of variability there, and I mean it's very different. Like for example, the commander A is I can select a fighter in any sector to destroy a voidborn ship. Whereas Science B is I gain 1 energy for every 2, or I get to draw 2 operation cards. So completely changes what bonus you get in the game. Now they're saying to just do random, and I guess that's fair. Let me get this to come up. There we go. So, I don't even recognize that symbol. That I think is the diplomacy one. That's the science one. Scout maybe. And then this one's the commander, I think. So, what are we have on this dice? We have 4, a whole bunch of 2s, a 1, and a 3. So the 2s are way more common than the 4. But you know what? I don't remember what the 2 is. So starting, the one on the top is a 1, and the one on the bottom is a 4. So I did roll a 2. So what's the second one in? The science one. Fair enough. I don't mind that at all. So I'm just going to set these other ones aside. And then what you do is you take, I think it's this player board, and then you put this inside of it, like so. Yeah, it pops right in. So there you have it. I'm going to try to raise this up a little bit. Okay. So this is what we do. And yeah, it pops in. Not super clean, but fair enough. And then you can see the little numbers show up from the board itself. And then now you have these little indents here, here, and here. And when you push this down, one of these is the captain. I'm trying to see which one. I wish they had like different colored heads or whatever. That looks like a cadet. So the cadets go here on the left. And they look like they have alien heads from the movie Alien. They're meant to be helmets. And then I guess the captain has, that's more of like a Praetorian or some ancient helmet. Anyways, that's the captain right there. So they go on like so. And apologies, I'm going to mess with my camera a little bit. There we go. All right. So this is random, and it's in reverse player order. So I guess, you know, whoever goes last, if you start to get to know these, they at least get to pick their special abilities first. Then in reverse turn order, we're supposed to choose a frigate board. So forget about it, because there's only one of us. But anyways, that's this. And these are also different. And if you look, I'm going to lift up the camera here. If you look along the top, see this is the symbol. It looks like wires that are connected with a dash dash. That's this. So this is the wires that are connected. It's moving up this track. So this is telling you that if you put a card here, you get to move up 2 on the track. So it's all across the ship. This one, you gain a discovery cube, which are these white cubes over here. And I think that might be remove a corruption. I can't remember. We'll look it up. This one, I don't remember. I don't recognize that one. But this one, see now there's a really tiny, see that little green plus slash? It's really hard for you to see, and I know I'm shaking the camera here. There's a plus sign and a slash sign. So what that means is that you get to do both of these or just one. Your choice. But you're welcome to do both. That's what that is. That's the most friendly symbol. And then same here. So basically, you're always going to get 1 energy, and then you decide whether you want to do this action. And it looks like it says infinitely you get to do blah. Now you might be wondering, well, how do you sort that out? Like, how do you know what that symbol means? Well, in the back of the solo rulebook is, oh, look at that. That's shield. That's the shield symbol. So you get to shield some stuff up. And then that little infinity symbol is for any sector. So you get to shield any sector. I'm assuming 1 ship. So you can see that the frigate boards are very different. Like that one frigate board moves you up the tactics track. The other one is helping you to protect your ships. Actually, while I'm at it, let's look at this one. This one right here. I'm assuming that's the remove a corruption. Okay, well, what looks like a bunch of antlers is corruption. If it shows the antlers with an arrow going out, that's gain corruption. So this would be the gain corruption symbol, but that blue that's behind it is what I'm trying to understand. Void residue. So that would mean you're moving the corruption. Oh, contain corruption is what that is. So basically, you could take a corruption and move it into your void residue. Yeah, that is a good thing. And then we have, so this one's the shields. This is 2 times you get the shield. And then the last one, oh my goodness, you have to spend a resource. But here you get to take either a cadet card or I think it's a commander card. So, but this is a penalty. You lose a resource. Same here, and then here you get to get cards again. A cadet card. You could lose a resource in order to gain a card. So it's sort of discouraging you from getting these, but maybe these actions are so powerful that it's worth, losing a resource to get to them. I don't know. Now, what's going on? Like, why? How would you put cards there? That's where this stuff comes in. So you got the cadet card here. This is used for empowering your cadets. So we have 2 cadets here, and then there's 2 cards that can be placed to the left of them. And those cards will be skills that the cadets earn. You get those from the cadet cards. And then this here, this is the frigate board, and it's for the frigate cards. So these frigate cards would go above the frigate board, and they give you extra actions for your frigate. So that one was very punitive. It was, I don't want that one. I mean, maybe that's the one you give to the player that goes first. I can only assume that the ability to gain these cards is so powerful in the game that even though you're taking penalties, that those are powerful enough, like you're making your cadets better or whatever. Like, that part I don't get. It seems like the actions on the bottom part of the frigate board are the same. So, so that part's fine. So let's skip the one with the penalty to the resources. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. I actually think, to keep it simple, I'm going to take the tactics one, because that's real simple. We move up twice on the tactics board. I don't think it gets much more simple than that. I do have a feeling, though, that I'm going to get to the top of the tactics board real easy with this one. But you move up on the tactics board when you destroy Voidborn ships as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And then here I'm just shoving it over so I can make room for all my components. And there we go. That's our player board. Now, it's not real easy for me to put the camera down so you can see, because it's actually off the edge of my table, but with me holding it, you can see here, this is where the residue goes. You put your resources here, and if you ever gain corruption, it goes into these spots. And then any resource that's trapped inside of this is frozen until you can get rid of the corruption. But you're allowed to freely move your resources around. And so even the moment you're gaining corruption, I could choose to put the corruption marker here and move those resources out before I place the corruption marker down. And then, of course, there's ways to get rid of corruption. And when you do, they go over here into the residue section. And I think once you fill up all 3 residue, then you gain an insight card. So that's the basic gist. When you get your first frigate card, it goes here. And then you get the bonuses as you gain more. And they show you the various things, like this is letting you draw a cadet card and so forth. Okay, so I can't say that I don't know the rules. I mean, I do know some of it. The part that's still jumbled up in my head is, like, why do I want to do this versus that? And I definitely need to understand the Voidborn attack section. I've watched a Paul Grogan video twice now, and I've fallen asleep both times when he gets to the section where they attack. And it's not any fault of his. It's my fault because I watch these videos when I'm trying to go to sleep, and I mean the whole point of going to sleep is to actually fall asleep. So, anyways, I'm never conscious by the time I get there. I do know that the movement rules for your ships are complicated, and because you can move stuff around and move fighters around and kill Voidborn ships. But it makes sense, once he explains it. It's just there's a lot. So, but anyways, let's finish this dang setup. We're at almost 2 hours here. 2 hours for setup. It's horrible. But I do admit I'm going slow. I'm trying to be methodical and learn this game. So, anyways, each player takes an Arc Ship and Revenant action summary card. So that would be this. So I get one of these. So this is an Arc Ship and Revenant action. So I'm assuming these are the Revenant actions. And this is the Arc Ship actions. Fair enough. I will put it here for lack of a place to put it for now. Each player takes one of each type of resource token: material, energy, science, and neutronium. So 1, 1, 1, and 1. And I'm assuming the corrupted player doesn't do this. And it's below the camera here. I'm trying to show you. They all go here in this first zone, which I don't believe can ever be corrupted. So this is probably where you want to keep your resources if you have less than 4, or less than 5, I mean. Each player takes one corruption marker and places it. So we start the game with one corruption. This is very similar to Voidborn, or Voidfall. We did the same thing in Voidfall. Always had corruption on the rightmost one. Each player places the captain rank marker in the lowest step of the captain rank track. So the captain rank marker is this, which this makes me know that there is no player board for him because his is over on that other thing. And so the lowest place is just right here. So perfecto. And it looks like there's 4 spots. And you can see here, we don't have any special skills. We do have these skills down here. And then as he promotes, he gets more and more to his skills. Each player places their 3 crew figures, the captain in the captain space and the 2 cadets. That's this, already done. Each player draws 2 hidden influence cards into their hand. So I'm going to draw 2 from my deck, not from his deck. And so we have these 2. So we got the yellow and the blue. I'm not smart enough to tell you which one's which, so I'll just put those down right here. And then we separate the secret agenda cards by their backs into fleet and personal agendas, shuffle them separately, and then we draw 1 from a fleet agenda card into our hand. Oh gosh. So these are separate. Fleet and agenda. How do I know which one's fleet and which one's agenda? Separate the agenda cards by their backs. Oh, do these have different backs? No. I don't understand. So let's go back. Personal agenda times 9 and fleet agenda times 4. Oh my gosh, the only difference is the little arrow up here in the eyeball. So that's a personal agenda. So there's 4 of these. These are the draw 1 random. So let's draw this one. What do we get? So I mean, this is just like Voidfall. So I'm going to get, if I have 5 or more arc ships, I'm going to score 6 points. And I'm assuming alive. So if I keep the arc ships alive, I'll score 6 points. That's my secret agenda. And since I'm playing solo, it doesn't matter. What are the other ones? These are the shuttles. Those are the drop ships. And those are fighters. So 6 points for each one. It looks like it's 1 for each player. Fair enough. And then we have the personal agendas. And we draw 2, but we select 1 to keep and return the rest. So I'm grabbing 2 right now. And the 2 I got, that's 3 or more cadet cards. I have no idea what that is. Up. That part, I mean, it looks like the glory tokens. But those are 6 points each as well. And again, you can just look at the back of the solo book. Has a lot of this stuff explained. Secret agenda cards. So this is number, there's numbers on them. So this has a number 5. You'll see it right here by my thumb. Focus. Number 5. It's right to the right of where it says 6 points. So that's number 5, and then number 4. Let's do number 4 first. Have 3 or more cadet cards in play. I nailed it. Oh, number 5 is have a rank 3 captain. There it is. There's the symbol right there. It's been on the camera the whole time. So I got to get that to rank 3, and I get 6 points. So basically, promote my people. That's my play style. I like that. And then, of course, it shows all the other ones. And then the fleet agenda, we have number 12, just to make sure. That is not number 12. Yeah, it is. It says that number 12 is there are 3 or more shuttles on the main board. That is not true at all. That is not a picture of a shuttle. That's 5 arc ships on the main board, which is supposed to be card number 11. Uh-oh, they got a typo. Yeah, there you got 13, 14, and their 11 is should be the 4 fighters. And see how they have number 14 here? That's not even on the list. So here, I'll show you. The fleet agendas is 10, 11, 12, and 13. But they go to 14, if you'll notice. It's 14, 13, 12, 11. So it's 14 to 11 on the cards. So if you look at the arc ships, mine has a number 11 on it, right? But my card number says 12 because all the card numbers are one off. That's really bizarre. So let me look at the personal deck. It says the personal deck only goes up to 9, and I don't think that's true either. 3, 7, 8, 1, and then we have, there's 9, 6, 2. These are the 3 that are out of the game. So they do go to 9, and then they just jump. They skip 10 and go straight to 11. I bet that's on BGG somewhere, and I just never bothered to check. So, good catch, I guess. So maybe they are a lot more like DVG than I thought. Poor DVG. I pick on them so much. I love you, DVG. I love Mind Clash too, and you're both making mistakes. And it's on the. And here's what's crazy. And these guys don't watch my channel, so it doesn't matter anyways. This mistake is literally right across from playtesting. And I guess right here, rulebook and booklet. So who do we have to blame for this? Mahali Vince and Attila Carrick. Proofreading, Emily Blaine and Andre Adrienne. Emily and Andre, you're fired. Actually, to be quite honest, this is a hard one to catch. I'm defending them now because Andre and, I probably could make this mistake. You could proofread this book all you want. The book is written perfectly. It's just it doesn't match the cards. So somebody proofreading the book isn't reading the cards. All they're doing is making sure that the book says what it's supposed to say. So I'm totally joking, guys. I am not angry with you at all. This is a very easy mistake to fix. But yes, it was confusing at first, but now we got the world solved. So, all right, that is done. And I always catch these errors. Always. And none of these companies ask me to playtest their stuff. Never. DVG just finally, I playtested an expansion that has not yet been announced for one of their games. And I am so privileged and proud of that because the designer at DVG recognized that I catch this stuff. And I caught stuff for him, and I even told him that it wasn't very fun, which I was supposed to do that. That wasn't unsolicited. And I told him how to make it a little more fun, and I think he's going to incorporate all my changes because I didn't just complain about the game. I had like, this is how I think you can fix it, and so he's chewing on it, and we'll see what he does. But anyways, I know this is a bit of a tangent, but I was very proud of that. I tested probably in April, so I think we're a long ways away before that game gets announced. But it's an expansion to a currently existing leader game. Let's put it that way. And I was very happy to do it. And it's is it cool? It's definitely a cool concept. It's getting into the realm of merging. So like you play a leader game that's either ships or air or whatever. It's getting into the realm of blurring those lines, and you're doing a little bit of both, and you actually use components that could blend into multiple games of their alignment. It's a cool idea. The problem is it's hard to pull off, and when I play tested it, that was what I complained about, is that there was some things that were hard to do. And then also I played it from the perspective of I'm going to try to win and break the game, which is what I was also asked to do. And I broke it. I found a way to break it. And so I know he has to fix that. But anyways, I don't mean to go off on a tangent. All I have to say is every time I get to the physical table and I pull these games out, I find this stuff constantly. And it is hard. There's this temptation to just say, does anybody even bother playtesting this stuff? And they clearly do. They spend hours on it, to be quite honest. I think, and DVG's always explained it to me that, when you're playtesting, the final printed product that goes to the customer is not in front of the playtesters sometimes. And that's why the errors get in there. So the playtesters would have caught it. It's just that they didn't have the final printed product, and there's always some glitch. It all makes sense when you sit down and think about it. I do have a video about how I would playtest the DVG games and make it better. I think that was after Eagle Leader that I did that, because there was so many bad things. The Warfighter Fantasy was a ruined game in my book. I know some people defend that, but that is the one DVG game that I was so glad to sell. And I wanted it out of my hands. And I know that there was a rulebook that everybody finally agreed upon, but that rulebook is nowhere near what I wanted in the game. It's not the game I kickstarted, and very, very disappointed in that one. But I am digressing, and let's get back to this. This error is not catastrophic by any means, and I'm still looking forward to this. This is looking and shaping up to be fun. I still don't know if I'm going to like this solitaire mode. I really wish I could beg my kids to play this with me. I am a sad, lonely man who doesn't have anybody to play games with anymore. And as I say that, I have board game night tomorrow. So I can't get them to play this with me either. So we'll see. Okay, moving on. My rant is over. All because I found an error in the cards. We drew 2 personal cards. Oh, we only get to select 1. So do I want my captain to go to 3, or do I want my cadets to have 3 cards? I don't know. I've never played this before, so I can't tell you. But I'm going to choose the captain to 3, just because. Right? I have no idea what's easy or hard to do, but that's what we'll do. Before starting play, right here, so we're on step 40. See, this is a 2-hour video. There's 40 steps to the setup. I'm not kidding about how much there is, and this is not even, we had like 20 steps on the solitaire play, so we're actually at step 60 right now. Anyways, each player draws 1 of each type of operation card in their hand. 1 cadet, 1 frigate, and 1 command. I'm excited about that, so let's do that right now. 1, 1, and 1. And I don't know what they mean, but let's look at them. I can tell you with absolute certainty that to play the card, I have to pay these resources. That part I know. And then this stuff down here are the bonuses. I can tell you that this little symbol triggers other things. So like sometimes it'll be if I do something like, let's say on one of these arc boards, here we go, right here it is, perfect example. So look at this green arc. See that right there? It's got the little hand symbol. Zoom in a little bit more. See a little handshake there above the +2? So I do this green arc action. I gain 2 materials, which are the pink resources there. And then it's got a handshake above it, right? So what that does is that triggers, so this card here is a cadet card. So if I play this cadet card and it's on this cadet right here, like this, then when this cadet is used to do that action, and I do a handshake action, I then also get everything in this dark box gets triggered. So you can see I get to take a resource, or I get to take an energy or a whatever the equal sign is, right? And then that allows me to, looks like it allows me to put a shield on something that's in the cross, which I'm assuming is the same sector of that arc ship. So this is where all the symbology comes in. So let's dive in. What was the first one? The equal sign. Same, your sector. The plus sign is adjacent sectors. So it looks like +1 of the same sector or +1 energy. And that allows you to put a shield on an adjacent sector. Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, that's what and then this empath card, you can see gives you +1, what is that? If you have 2 or less with this house, you gain +1 with them. +1 influence, ooh. And I don't know what the little green dots mean. Probably on the ship that I just chose. So I had to choose the green arc ship, right? And then I do the handshake. So let's look some more. The +1 is definitely gaining influence. And I don't know what that little ... thing means. It doesn't show that. Unless it's just saying read the rest of the card. Oh, you get +1 if you have 2 or less with this house, gain +1 with them. So maybe it's a +1 with those rules. That's the best I can come up with. Because I don't think I see the ... Now, there is also, in the back, they have everything, like all the stuff explained. So again, it's hard to look at the book and carry the camera, so I apologize. Let me see if I can find empath here. The card. What is empath? It's a cadet card, right? So, and they're all in here. Now I'm looking at, here it is, empath. So here's what it's saying. I'll read the text to you so you can see how this works. Right after you gain influence with a house, when boarding a house ship or the Revenant, and as long as you have no more than 2 influence with them, you may gain another influence with them. Do not count hidden influence into this limit of 2. So it's a bit involved. And then during a provision effect, which I guess is what a handshake is, it's found on arc ships, it tells you. You may gain 1 of the provided resources or 1 energy. That's what that equals is. So if you're gaining resources from them, like this one, it's giving you material. So I could get +1 material, or I can gain +1 energy. Then I may place a shield in my current sector or an adjacent sector. So it's both. So that's what this card does. And it's I have to pay these resources to play the card. But once it's on my cadet, that's a permanent ability I have the rest of the game. So it's a one-time payment, and then you get to use that card the rest of the game. So this is what has me excited about the game. I love this about, this is the kind of game for me. I can think of a lot of people who this is too much for them, but for me, I'm like, ooh, this is cool. So then we have, this is a frigate. So this card would go on my frigate here, and then you get to forget about it. I'm going to use frigate jokes for the rest of my life. Don't ever stop. So again, you pay once to play the card, and you always have to go left or right. I don't think you can just choose to take the rightmost bonus. And then this one for the frigate is if that ability happens, which is a great question. I think that's when you do an attack. Let's see how good my skills are here. It says, frigate yours. It's an attack. So I'll let you look at the card here. And then right there, that's attack. So it's your, so when there's an attack, and this is you attacking a ship or whatever, then it has this plus symbol here. So, oh gosh, what does it say? So this is saying your frigate. And then the blue dotted lines are, deal extra damage. And this is a +/ if there is a, I think that's like a voidborn, that's this thing. This thing right here, I'm pretty sure. I'm just trying to find it on the symbology here. Yeah, if there's a rift in your ship's sector, +1 damage in any one sector with a rift. So any sector. So basically you can go through they're almost like warps. So if you're in this sector here, you can hit something in another sector somewhere else. Very cool. And this is a +/, meaning you get 1 extra damage and you get to do that. So that's a pretty cool one. And then this one is the command. I don't know where you played these. I have to look that up. I probably fell asleep before I got to this. But obviously there's these are immediate. You get these immediately. They're not for the rest of the game. So I pay these resources. And then twice I get to move up the tactics track, or 2 times, that's I think that's a move. So, gosh, I do understand the people not liking the symbology here. My goodness. Twice I get to, and this is a good exercise, because once I get through all the pain of learning these, they too become a little intuitive. Remove damage marker. Twice I get to remove damage marker. That's what this is. And then I get to deploy house ship. Although it doesn't show an arrow. 2 damage markers from a ship. From a house ship. That's what that is. Including arc ship. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. So when you play one of those expansions, you actually start the game with all the arc ships damaged. So this is one of the ways you can repair them. So up here, and remember this is an or. So I do the top or the bottom. And if I do the top, it's the left or the right. And I get to do this 2 times. There's a lot of if then else's here. Or just else's. So yes, I can move up the tactics track twice. I can do this 2 times, which means I would move up 4 times. I can repair damage twice, which would mean I could repair 4 damage if I do it 2 times. Down here, I just gain 1 of any resource, so I could just gain 2. I'm spending 2 resources to gain 2. That's a little silly. And then this one here, I gotta look that up. So it's a shadow, that's house ship, except the arc ship. That's exactly the symbol. It's house ship except the arc ship. And then the colon means with the arrow. Ay, ay, ay. It's a move with caution. So what's a move with caution? It has to do with the void ships in the area, and you don't want to move in a way that is going to make yourself vulnerable for attack. So you get to do a move, but you can't just move anywhere you want. It's some of the rules that get into the weeds, and as you can tell, I don't remember it all, but I do know that the move with caution is different than a regular move. It's got additional constraints. All right, so we drew those 3 cards. Step 41. Each player may choose to discard each of their operation cards once to draw another of the same type. Use separate face-down discard piles for each operation type. On your first game, we recommend you skip this. I'm actually going to discard this one, the Mind Control. I don't think I like that one. And although the repairing the ships might actually turn out to be a fantastic one, fine, I'll keep it. We'll keep it. Let's see what comes out of it. In reverse turn order, each player chooses a different house and moves their influence marker up 1 space on the influence track of that house, and then places their frigate into the sector of the arc ship of that house. So I get to pick any of these houses, move up 1 on it, and put myself there. Now, I happen to have 2 secret influence cards. I have yellow and this blue. And first question, do I try to focus on the ones I already have, or do I just focus on the ones I don't? I don't know. I have no idea. Here I can tell you that the arc ship actions for yellow is I can gain 2 science and then gain 2 energy and or place 2 shields anywhere. The blue one is on the back here. I can gain 2 neutronium and spend 3 material to deploy 1 shuttle anywhere. There's draw 2 operation cards and or contain a corruption if you're green. Discard an operation card to copy an occupied planet effect. Spend 2 resources to gain 3. That would be these guys. The red ones, destroy 2 Voidborn ships anywhere. This guy. They're the ones that give you corruption as you move up. Move 4 ships with caution. I'm going to go ahead and just do the science one, which looks like it's yellow. So yeah, we'll choose to move up the yellow track for lack of knowledge. And then we take our frigate here, and we get to start where the yellow arc ship is, and it's right here. So that's our ship. Now, one other thing before we get going, you can see that, this was part of the expansion stuff. Sector 7 here has a limit of 2 arc ships and 4 house ships and 6 Voidborn. So I can't ever have a 3rd arc ship in this section. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 house ships. So we're at our maximum for ships. That doesn't mean the frigates can't move there, because you'll see that there's no frigate listed on the list. But right now there's 1 Voidborn, and they could have up to 6. Now, I chose to start where yellow is, and I said I wanted to be over by the other planets. And I guess maybe I can just shoot over to this planet and then over to the other ones. I don't know. I haven't gotten far enough in the game to strategize that deeply. But I think we're finally done with setup. We are. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. The next video we will start playing. And I promise we will finally play. The setup was long. The next time, easily half the time for setup, because a lot of this was me learning the components, slowing down, trying to understand how things, mix with each other. It doesn't have to take this long, but man, oh man, for the first game, it sure did. So anyways, thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome, and we'll see you. I have game night tomorrow with my friends, and I want to play this game, but it may be 2 days from now. I always say that, and then I sneak in a game, because that's just how I am. But I'll see if I can try to sneak something in. I just don't know if I can. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.